You know, I can't really blame people for thinking I'm crazy because if I wasn't living it, I think I was crazy too. But I also have an entire team at the VA that respects and understands I'm quite possibly the most sane person they've ever met. Behaves irrationally sometimes, yeah, but then you get into all the kinds of arguments between thoughts and actions, sanity, insanity, rational, irrational. And when we're already dealing on a playing field that most people can't even understand, I don't think I don't. It's not a think. I know. I don't blame people for thinking I'm crazy. I don't. Because quite possibly I am crazy. But hey, what does crazy even mean? But all I can say is, try being me. Okay, whatever you think, try being in my head. Okay? So, yeah, I have anger. Righteously so. But I don't cling to my anger. I realize that in these videos that I am quite passionate in my expressing of anger because it needs to come out. Because the world needs to know. Because this is why God kept me alive. But that anger, it's not who I am. And that's actually why that's actually why I'm filming this video. And that is a shrink validated psychological stutter expression of anxiety. So, anyone that may actually tell themselves or think that I had a stutter before, okay, fine. Let's maybe go with the let's wheelbarrow bend over backwards, give the benefit of the doubt. Maybe I did, and I just never noticed. But give the benefit of the doubt that okay, maybe I did stutter. But that stutter's different. That stutter shows distress of anxiety. And for anybody that thinks a stutter's a stutter, they probably, you're not even looking deep enough anyway. We were friends once, and you're right. I will delete your emails without even fucking reading them because I know you have nothing to say that I actually want to hear because you're not listening to me. Because my friends and family were part of the group that was hurting me because they refused to let Amber die. They refused to let me be me. They expected me and demanded of me to try and be a dead person instead of just honoring the fact that I lived to begin with, that I can wipe my own ass at all, and opening their eyes to see that everything they really loved about me is even better. They got so stuck in, I don't know, maybe I did have some random weird stutter that I never even noticed and nobody in my entire life has ever commented on before. Maybe I did. But that is anxiety. So stop fucking telling me I'm fine and just listen. Stop telling me that I'm the one that crossed the line by pushing you away when you were the one that was killing me. I'm not judging. I am just refusing to allow others to judge me. Because even my own friends and family, people, my adopted people I chose to be in my life, and they refused to listen. They refused to see me. They refused to think critically beyond their own limiting construct. And guess what? I've always been a juggernaut. I'm just really different now. And I'm different because I've had to question everything about me, including my sexuality. But you see, having the vast majority of memories from my life before, I get to pick and choose who it is that I become. So guess what? Whoever was Amber's friend or loved one or whatever before, if you were actually a good person, because some people have more challenges than others, but if you were actually any relevant part of my life, then all you gotta do is see me for who I am and realize that even my wonderfully precious, gentle, loving father that didn't even really know me till I was 28, because he didn't have the judgment and expectations of all that construct that he built me into being. He barely fucking knew me before, but even he will honest to God admit I'm a better person now. Everything about Amber that was good is what's great about Zoe. You know, I mean, and even more important, yes, I can never again fit into society's standards. I enjoy an early retirement because I absolutely, truly fit the description of disabled. Because I am unable to meet the standards and fit into the society that is the expectations placed on me. Yes, I choose to be a shut-in because the anxiety of everything out there is just so much. Because with my brain damage and my partial lobotomy, I am fucking empathetic to the level of an autistic. And you may want to put that in contrast with, I suddenly forgot her name, but it was the autistic woman that invented the gentle kill manner for cows. Because she applied physics in realizing that you can't see around a curve, and that which you can't see you are not afraid of. An autistic woman that overcame the limitations of her challenges was so empathetic, she revolutionized her field. I just want people to see me for me. Yes, I am empathetic to the level of an autistic. And you know what? That's a wonderful thing. Because it also makes me so capable of such love. But it also makes me so wounded by so much hate. There is nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong with American veterans that come back and can't fit into just... All it speaks to is the fact that we are now super sensitive and value life to such a level that we can't fit in to this brutal monotony anymore. Brutally malicious monotony where most people can't even answer what makes you happy where most people are trapped in an economic war of oppression because slavery was really about economics. It was not about skin color. And the masses are so trapped in this economic slavery cycle of less than minimum wage because they are at the fucking bottom of Maslow's hierarchy of need, just trying to survive. Yeah, we come back and we can't do that stuff anymore. We can't. It breaks us. We would rather die than fit back into a system that shames everything we fought for. U.S. cultural terrorism. That is why jihadists and whoever else are targeting America. That's why the world hates us in general. You know how America picks on the French? Think about how the world picks on America. You know, there were reasons why when I rolled out of the wire, my boyfriend used to put a fucking British flag on my pack. 'Cause he didn't want me to be targeted for being American. Think about that just a minute. You know, I mean, because he cared. And because he knew such a little thing as having a British flag on the backpack of an English-speaking white person could save my life. Why do we think people are targeting Americans? Why do you think the majority of Americans fucking hate their lives? Most people can't even answer what makes you happy because they're too obsessed with survival. Because this is a war. This is war. The masses have just been fed the opium that keeps them calm and quiet, and it has been wrapped in a flag and carrying a cross. And I am utmost faithful, devout in the Creator because God kept me alive. And I didn't even believe in God before. You know, I mean, but the fascism that we live under, pretending it's democracy, is wrapped in a flag and carrying a cross. It is. It is. And it's screaming racism, it's sex, it's fucking everything that oppresses us. You know, the war to end slavery didn't end, it just changed. It just changed. You know, all you gotta do, you don't even gotta cut on the election. All you gotta do is look at the next guy that's fucking busting their hump to barely squeak by. You know, you gotta think of any ism, any judgment, any label. Color brave. Don't be colorblind. That's being an ostrich, sticking your head in the sand. Google TED Talks. Be color brave. You know, I mean, we gotta stand up for what's right. And yeah, I have a lot of righteous anger. But it's not who I am, and that's why I am so excited about going to Thailand. And that's why I started this. All right, because I want the world to know who I really am. I'm not all that anger and hubbub. That's why I've written the book the way I did, and I edited out the anger in it. Brad, I edited out the anger that I felt was unnecessary and unfair and counterproductive. You're right. I'm sorry. That's why it was a draft. You know, and a healing tool. That's why I would create the website, love letters. Dear Amber, dear Zoe, dear Abby, dear whatever. I mean, this is very specifically intended to be a motivational, inspirational dialogue of empowerment. It's just that, to empower the underdog, we gotta point out what's keeping us down, and we gotta call it out. We gotta call it out. Because even one of my brothers thinks they're alone, much less all of them. We are 1% of the population released back into general mass population, isolated from everything that made us great, and we feel alone. We feel alone and lost in cultural terrorism that shames us to either implosion or explosion. And that poor female cop that got gunned down unwittingly became a symbolic martyr. Thank you for your sacrifice, ma'am. Because I am dubbing you... Whoa, Catholic school again. I am dubbing you a symbolic martyr so that your death has meaning. So that your death has meaning. Because God knows I have been screaming for help. And even the good people of my own family and friends judged me, limited me, strangled me. I even changed my name to try and stop them from making me be a person I wasn't anymore. And yeah, there's not a goddamn bit of advice any of you can give me, and I have absolutely no interest in what you have to say until you see me for who I am now. Because that miserable bitch, she died. And was replaced by a much more loving, much more compassionate, much happier person. But you know what? I'm still a juggernaut that's tough as nails. I am what I am. And your inadequacy is not my problem. So stop throwing labels and judgments at me. I'm doing the best I can. I'm doing the best I can to be the best person I know how. And I have been repeatedly validated by people I respect, telling me that I'm a really good person. So until people can see me for me, I'm not interested in hearing what you have to say. Because all you're gonna do is label and judge and misunderstand. I'm listening to God now. And I stand on the fact that I'm standing. Nobody lives through that. Now, I'm sure some people do, but I lived. Not only did I live, but I walked out of the neural ICU. And 2.5 years later, I am more recovered than anyone ever could have hoped. And I have taken every major injustice that has happened to me and made it into something wonderful. Yes, I was beaten to death by my combat veteran ex-lover who genuinely loved me. I was much more prepared for a ring than I was to be beaten to death. But you know what? The problem wasn't he and I. The problem is every person that failed him in that decade he was looking for help. The judgments and labels are what failed him. Well, no, they didn't fail him. He was crushed by those judgments and labels. And trying to understand that was what we bonded over. You know? And I honestly, at the end of the day, I honest to God cannot blame him any more than I can blame my mother that kidnapped me at 5 and made me a tough son of a bitch. You know, my mother was mentally unwell before I was ever even born. My own mother's labels and judgments destroyed her own life and made mine a challenge to overcome. And I learned my lessons well. So yeah, I can't blame Brad any more than I could blame my own mother. My mother genuinely believed she was doing the right thing. My mother genuinely did her best. You know, you can't blame a child for autism, for being born with autism. It's not their fucking fault. You know, the fact that Brad exploded, the fact that it was his hands that murdered me, was the fault of everyone that failed him. And I stand on the fact that I'm standing, and then I turn that up and raise the ante with the fact that, oh my God, look at the numbers. Living in America is 20 times more fatal to the American veteran than war. There's 1 million of us in prison, and America is honoring us with building veteran-only prisons. We're 1% of the population, but we're 21% of the domestic violence rates. And although I don't think it's been documented or calculated, I would highly suggest that we are the upper echelon of the higher degrees of violence because we are highly trained, highly capable, and highly driven. You know, that cop being shot should be a symbolic martyr because we are fucking screaming for help. We are screaming for help while people pat themselves on the back. God damn, Wounded Warrior being just the fucking classic example, right? Yeah, Wounded Warrior got the black eye for, you know, the amount of funds that actually end up towards veterans, right? Well, you know what? That's just the tip of the iceberg. I just got another Wounded Warrior email because, you know, I get hats, I get t-shirts, I get emails nonstop, you know? I mean, I really should just put that in my spam folder at this point. You know what? All that happened to add my name to inflate their head count was that I asked for help they never gave me. Because myself and Brad and the guy that murdered me asked Wounded Warrior for help, and the thresholds of entry were too fucking hard for either of us. People that need the most help, and the actual thresholds to get that help are so fucking high, it's irrelevant. We are drowning in a sea of help. And guess what? He was a West Point officer and still couldn't get the fucking help. So what fucking chance does that leave for the rest of us? But you know what? I got plenty of t-shirts and hats. I get emails. I get, you know, whatever, because it looks good. You know, they may take 6 people out on a vacation rationalizing that feeling good for a couple of days is actually going to change their life when they're not really making any relevant impact. They're actually making a much more dangerous situation because they're making us feel helpless that we're screaming out to everybody, even with them, and nobody's fucking helping because the thresholds of entry is too high for the truly needy to get help. My anger is righteous, but it is not what defines me. If I allowed it to define me, my ass would be fucking crying into a bar glass somewhere talking about what an amazing photographer I was. I'm not. You know, the problem is not Brad, or me, or it wouldn't be fucking pandemic. You know, how many of us choose to be homeless because we can't fit into society anymore? Because the other people that are homeless, they're not going to judge us. You know what? I, highly educated, highly professional, whatever. I would rather be homeless in America than try and fit in this broken system because the homeless don't judge. Not each other. They angrily judge the people that do nothing, same as I am. Wake up, America. U.S. cultural terrorism has demeaned everything it means to be American. And not even knowing, being a shut-in that hasn't even watched news for 2 years, the fact that Trump is even running fucking scares the shit out of me, because look at him and you can see cross sections of behavioral manipulation in Hitler. God kept me alive because I know what I know, because I'm strong enough to be the person that does what I gotta do, and because the love in my heart is so pure, especially for the uniform. Because if we can overcome our trauma, then we can teach America to do the same. Lead the way. You know, and I'm out front. I'm point man, yo. Because I'm living it. Only I have the knowledge, education, background, and experience to be able to teach what I'm doing. What's obviously working, because I stand on the fact that I'm standing. Which is exactly why I've given my VA shrinks carte blanche to, as soon as they leverage the opportunity and they feel comfortable within it with themselves, please take any and every advantage to be completely honest about any aspect of my psychological treatment. Because I live my word. I am transparent, I am ashamed of nothing, and I have done the best I fucking could every step of the way, and that's better than most. So yeah, I have righteous anger because we need to call out that there's a fucking problem before we can even do anything to change the problem. Because you know what? Us running around like our chickens with their heads cut off trying to figure out what the answer is dysfunctional when we don't even know what the question is. Damn, yo. Because people just told us that's the way. Because people couldn't answer. Because children asked, why is the sky blue? And people actually accepted the answer just because. No, actually, the sky is blue because the atmosphere reflects the water is blue, and so therefore it influences the sky. That's why the sky looks blue. Get a fucking clue. Google. Look. Think for yourself. Or get whatever you deserve. Because blame is only going to dig you deeper. Solutions are within. You know, and that's what I want the world to know. And that's why I believe God has made me go through all these extreme, insane circumstances. Holy shit. And an apartment front desk personnel that bullies myself and female coworkers to the point that I have a mental breakdown, a management system that literally responds with, we can't have employees thinking you can get them fired, a board that for some reason protects him until I make it impossible to keep their heads in the sand. I've got an Orisman Automotive with such situational negligence. Again, benefit of the doubt, good people. You know, they too were in some sort of massive challenge of management changeover. And I mean, dude, they fired two of the body, I don't know. I think it was just, I don't remember. Let's just hope it's poor leadership and that leadership is willing to learn. and make something great out of their mistakes. Because revenge is not my concern. Revenge just eats up your soul, honey, and I ain't wasting my life on that. It's not even about me, actually. It's not. It's not. Because notice, the acts of contrition I am requesting from individuals that have screwed me over so thoroughly are to set up systems that can help prevent such mistakes in the future and to help heal the individuals that they have hurt. Damn. I'm not even looking for money, which is why, Paige, when you write a fucking sentence that says you're just trying to get rich, then you clearly never really knew me, and you definitely don't know me now. You must not even fathom the range I've had from how much money to how much poverty. We'll just leave it at that. Okay? I mean, for anyone to accuse me of being in this for money, you're obviously not listening. Marina Towers, you screwed up, okay? Let's rationalize that the board really just didn't understand. Don't know how, but okay. Benefit of the doubt here. Then it should be your honor to take the meager amount of funds necessary out of your ample budget to purchase a water-facing property so that we can have a 24/7 safe house for at-risk veterans. Because quite honest to God, when the rubber hits the road, because that's really what matters, we just can't be alone sometimes. We just need to be around our own that don't judge us, that accept us for who we are, that we don't gotta be ashamed around for being ourselves. That's all it takes, and that's all I want. You know what? You made me. Your negligence put me in a situation where I wanted to die. I wanted to die. And it didn't matter whether it was John McHugh I was soliciting or even the goddamn board just to do their job. People labeled me. People judged me. People wrote me off and allowed me to fall so far that I would want to die. You're supposed to be giving us a hand. It's the American way. Open your eyes. All I want is for them to purchase a property that's for purple combat boots and then get the stuff, get it done, get her done. Bitsy the terrorist. I told you I would take you for after. You have fucking half a dozen cops roll up into my house that are here for an hour because they're so concerned about the impact you had on me? And then go back to tell you to leave me alone? Honey, you used the police as a weapon. And it wasn't even your first time. It was just the first time you did it to me. It is illegal to use the police as a weapon. I am shaming you on your husband's name. Sweetheart, we already know you. But especially if your husband's a diplomat. Wow, the shame and the damage we could have on his career because of your actions. Yeah. Hi. Hi, Bitsy the terrorist. Hi, her husband the diplomat. You may really want to look around where you are, D.C., the Mecca capital of the military, and realize that the shame of your wife's actions you can't take back. And you obviously have not helped her or inspired her to be a better person, at least not enough. Wow. I'm now going to hold you personally accountable because if you are a diplomat, then you're part of the politicians, which means you know the problem. Power to the people and free speech. I told your wife if she crossed me again, which she did. I told your wife if she crossed me again, I would take every dime to her and your name. Which means now, because I love this. The best justice is to let your own actions come back on you. I'm not even doing nothing. Power to the people, yo. I'm gonna give Little Miss the opportunity with her meet and greet running for elections and stuff to, I tell you what, sweetheart. The first gesture for me to stop gunning for you, Betsy the terrorist, is to withdraw your candidacy. Because your pride would make your power dangerous to human existence. So in my good conscience, knowing that God kept me alive to help others, I cannot allow you to ascend to position. Pride is already a sin, and you already have welcomed so much of it into your life that you are torturing at least 2 veterans, myself and one other concluded, and that is just the people on your floor. Okay, sweetheart. So for your husband's career and reputation, because obviously threatening your money was not enough to get you to just fucking back off. You know, no, okay, fine. I want more than your money. I want your reputation. Because I obviously miscalculated in thinking that you valued your money so much. It kept you in line for a couple of months, but obviously didn't solicit the contrition that I'm gunning for. But you know what? Little Miss all of a sudden deciding to go to Wednesday coffee hour or whatever, you're fucking lobbying. Because your reputation, what people think of you, means the world of you. Wow, honey. Google PSYOP. Little Miss PhD psychology. Google PSYOP. You know, fuck. Well, letter. Because John McHugh obviously labeled me, judged me, and wrote me off without even fucking looking, because I gave him a copy of my book, and my book's got tons of my photography in it too. If John McHugh, if you even bothered to flip through the pictures, you would have known there is more to me than hot air. But you didn't. You labeled, you judged, and you wrote me off. And you did too within yourself to such a degree that you were genuinely concerned, thinking I was like off my rocker or some shit. You thought I was going to Thailand and didn't have a place to stay. Boy, your face was funny when I told you I'm actually going to a private villa in Thailand. Yeah, John McHugh, let me know if you need a place to stay. All you had to do was have an open mind. You didn't even have to read. All you had to do was look at the pictures. Because the pictures alone would have made you want to read. At least as an officer and a security individual. Ha! Because yes, line, tiptoes, yeah, I also do that with security images too. You know, like photos of the inside of the cockpit where everybody's facing out because we're taking fire, so they're blocking the vision of all the controls. Bam, snap. Yeah, the fucking lineup of Iraqis on their knees with guns to their head. Yeah, huh. But I wouldn't fucking do that shit I wouldn't take that picture in the real situation. It was a training exercise. It was a picture perfect opportunity. Even, sir, as the former Secretary of the United States Army, if you had concern for national security and all you did was look through the pictures, are you suddenly seeing the context of how badly you failed? You failed a soldier that wanted to taste a bullet. How are you feeling about all those condolence letters you wrote now? How would you feel if I fucking shot myself and named you in the letter because you failed me? You know, do what I hope you do best and lead. Marina Towers, I pray to God, is going to understand the error of their ways and understand that if I actually wanted to fight this, I could force them to spend more in their own lawyers' fees alone on the symbolic representation of a veteran where lawyers would volunteer for the case. I could force you to spend more on lawyers' costs alone than what it will cost you to do the right thing and be a really good human. I'm really trying to give you an out here. I pray you open your eyes enough to see and feel the compassion and take it. Because your negligence allowed a veteran to get so fucking roughed off I wanted to taste a bullet. And you did nothing. Well, I mean, I don't know, whatever. I've been told a couple of times by different people, well, Marina Towers is doing something. It's with their lawyers. Okay, and so the fuck what? That's like saying IAVA passed a bill. Yeah, and what effect did that actually have? Because I've actually been to veteran mental health suicide prevention training and pulled the instructor aside, professional to professional, and called him out for you know this is just going to raise suicide rates because you're endangering the lives of the individuals you're teaching because you're teaching them and setting them up for failure. You know that, right? Yeah. I fucking quote, you realize you're setting them up for failure and likely to cause more veterans to kill themselves. And I quote, yes, I know, but we've got to do something. Team Rubicon, I hold you high above all other organizations, and I believe you own your name. Then you need to stop clinging to the good idea fairy. She will let you down every time. You know, I mean, my mind is blown by how people want to help. I believe in evolutionary psychology. I believe that most people are good. I believe that America loves her veterans. I do. I do. I also believe that America doesn't understand how they are hurting us. Labels, judgments, failure to act, and among our own, dear God, the good idea fairy. Bill Roush all the way to Team Rubicon, all the way to fucking Wounded Warrior. That spams me and sends me mailing levels and hats and t-shirts and shit and yet refused to fucking help me. Well, how's that working out for you? Better question, how do you sleep at night? Because if you want real change, you gotta change your tactics. And hey, Wounded Warrior, yeah, I'm calling you out for shit you've done, but hey, that's in the past. I understand you have particular attachment to the mission of, economic empowerment and, psychosocial improvement. Guess what my specialty is, honey? If you actually want to put your money where your mouth is, how about you partner with War Than Peace? Hell, how about you fucking give me a couple of directors to help run the fucking shit up, and then we'll get the rest of it volunteer based, because you know what? I actually don't need a budget to run this shit. I don't need a budget, I just need some help. You know, because I can make people money by doing the right thing. United Airlines, how often do you fly with empty seats? Okay, let's say you donate, tax deductible, those seats, business class or above, because you know what? America's veterans deserve best than the lowest you can do. Okay, let's say you take some of those empty seats that fly, you tax deduct them, and then you up that with the publicity of doing a really great thing for America. Uniting America. Bam! You know, I mean, wow. Orisman, okay, you screwed up and you obviously enjoy copious amounts of publicity on the backs of veterans. Then how about you purchase the property in Thailand and help make it into America's first veteran mental health boot camp. That's free because, hey, Orisman purchased the property, United covers the airfare, and I'm absolutely certain we can find a way to cover day-to-day costs. And you know what? I don't want nothing. I got disability the rest of my life. And people giving me money means I owe them shit. And no thank you. But you know what? You giving me free airfare just shows that you are living up to your value and doing smart business while capitalizing on making values a marketing aspect. Whoa. Woo! Roland, that is how you brand, monetize, and proliferate values on an economic level. Fall in, sweetheart. Actually, all my brothers. Even if I was talking to the dude in polytrauma the other day, even if the only thing you can do is pray, do what you can do. Just do what you can do. United, you happen to have empty flights. You happen to be a business that would benefit from promotions. So let's do this. Orisman, much like Marina Towers, what you will pay for that property in Thailand is less than what you would spend on lawyers' costs for this. And again, I'm absolutely certain I would have a plethora of lawyers interested in a career-defining case defending veteran psychosocial behavior against such blatant inappropriate action. Do you really want to risk your reputation? How about instead you just do the right thing, save money by purchasing the property in Thailand, and then also capitalize off the PR of, hey, we actually put our money where our mouth is about us standing by and supporting veterans. Because yes, we made a mistake, but look how we made up for it. You know, I mean, this is beautiful PR. And that's why it's social quicksand, is because the right thing to do is the right thing to do. And for you to do anything else would be unreasonable and dig yourself even deeper into your own misdeeds. Everyone falls. Everyone falls. Shit happens. The world goes on. It is not that we fall. It is what we do when we get back up. And that's the entire point of the Hall of Opportunity. It is the Hall of Shame and the Hall of Fame. All right, you fucked up. How are you making up for that? And then spin that into the whole stolen valor thing. You know what? People are stealing valor because they lack confidence. They're seeking attention. They want better lives, even if they can just borrow them from someone they don't deserve it from. Okay, fine. First, hashtag Mass Effect on. Let's give them all the attention they want. People want to steal stolen valor, then if people want to steal valor, then let's give them all the attention they want. And you know what? For us to stop giving them the attention they deserve, all they need to do is post a video volunteering with a veteran organization and then get a veteran to speak on their behalf about how they changed. Because it's not about revenge, it's about contrition. You know, if we don't change, we're just going to get more of the same, guys. We're just going to keep falling deeper down that hole. That's it. It's about change. You know, and yeah, people may be able to promise hope, but they got no fucking operational clue on how to deliver. This is how we deliver. This is change. God kept me alive to lead the way. You know, I mean, it's about contrition. Marina Towers, I hope you have the sorrow and regret for your misdeeds and inaction to save money and raise your property value with the great publicity of taking a meager amount of your copious spending dollars to purchase a large water-facing apartment. You know, and I would like to bilk a second one out of, you know, Bitsy the terrorist. John McHugh, you get to head up the operation. Because it's about accountability and it's about change. It's where the rubber hits the road. All the rest of it's feel-good mind tricks. Honey, if you actually think your vote matters, you need to get a grip. You need to realize that the vast majority of the American population doesn't even vote because none of the candidates represent our voice. And most of the shit doesn't actually impact our life. That's why there's state government versus federal government. Woo! Shit, now we just got really real. You know, I mean, guess what? Your vote doesn't matter. As an American veteran, as a psyoper, as a lifelong professional manipulator, I am informing you, your vote does not matter. Because we got shitty choices. Because the question's rigged. And let me rephrase, the question's faulty and the test is rigged. There is no right answer. So it's time we made one. It's the American way. You know, I mean, jeez. Wow, right? Just from what I've heard, we've got, and again, I'm a shut-in that stays about as isolated from the world as I possibly can. But, you know, going to the VA and stuff, you know, you hear things and such. Okay, from my understanding, just from hanging out at the VA, Bernie Sanders is a socialist. That is not American. Donald Trump, my professional opinion, as a manipulator, observing another very good manipulator. I am fucking fundamentally frightened of the idea of Trump because of the numerous similarities he shares in manipulation with Hitler. Again, not American. Fuck, if those were our only options, I'd say, fuck, at least go with Hillary. Make Obama stay over an extra, like fucking teamwork shit. But fortunately, I have created another option for America. Because power to the people, we only need to be motivated and organized. And veterans know, enlisted know, the earth shakes at our feet when we are motivated and organized. Saying a Fight Club, right? Tyler Durden. Well, there's Tyler Durden, the in-your-face fuck you, hey, let's write in ballots, Tyler Durden, and say, hey, the two top candidates, how they get the two to face off against each other at the end or whatever, crack their heads together and make them work together. Make them work together. Or somebody could always write in ballot for Tyler's sister, Karma Durden, and say, yo, why can't we all just get along? Keep Obama over an extra year. Have the two left seat train with Obama the right seat train as in a proper fucking handoff as we would with goddamn near the fucking most basic of shit. Give a handoff. Be like, okay, give you a year and, let the two work together the rest of the three. Guess what, America? Wake up. We are not a democracy. We never have been. We are a republic. And we suffer from all the same sins of ancient Rome. The other great republic. All my brothers out there that are history buffs, open your eyes and look. Look at history. America is not a democracy. We've owned the term democracy because it's what we optimistically were shooting for. Only technology and social limitations constrained us. We don't have those problems anymore, so what's our excuse? Anybody that wants to go, oh, well, we can't polling issues, really? We got biometrics. Try again. If we've got biometrics to the degree that we can manage security in a foreign country the way we do, we can revamp voting in America. It's not that fucking hard. Really. Just use this tool that was designed for this thing and apply it in this way. That's it. That's it. Fuck me, jeez. Yeah, well, I'm gonna wrap this up and then I'll read the letter in the next one. Maybe, hopefully. I'm trying. Doing my best here. Oh, because I remember I intended to start off with explaining how my brain works. I can't blame people for thinking I'm crazy because goddamn, I would think I'm crazy if I wasn't living it. I have problems with time dilation. My memory, my brain, it works out of order. Okay, the only way I'm getting through any of this shit is on faith of following what I believe to be orders. Because none of this stuff is happening synchronously. Okay? Time is not linear. Time is not linear. Timey-wimey. Psh. Doctor Who thumbs up. Time is not linear. Why do you think we have an atomic clock? Come on, people. All I'm doing is asking you to think. All I'm doing is asking you to stop shoveling this shit in hole. And I'm offering the instructions on how to fight a war for peace with no shots fired, no lines crossed, and no law broken. Because if you're not willing to do something about the problem, you have no right to complain. And that is the American way.